And every day I get up and I'm like, crap, I have to go to work.
People are finding ways to do it faster and cheaper, permission or not permission.
For a future, we want to plan for 2050.
Michael Saylor doesn't want to work anymore.
JP Morgan finding better ways.
Yeah, and Pakistan planning for the future. Welcome back to the Satoshi's Hive studio, Bimblebit.com. I'm Damian.
I'm Andy.
And we're just two guys sitting around a table shooting the shit about Bitcoin. We're going to lock ourselves in at our blockchain height at 928,202. And it keeps on trucking.
Right?
Yeah.
Keeps on going, man.
Well, happy flu season and happy holidays to everybody.
Yeah.
Seems to be running rampant, so if you're under the weather, throw us on, sit around, we'll shoot the shit and just have Kleenex, a couple pills, you'll be fine.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to dig in more to those videos coming up as well. We've got some fun headline stories coming up here. GameStop, huge story in the past. They are holding the line.
And Fidelity making an amazing prediction.
Yeah, and all aboard the blockchain train for the US of A.
And of course, Times Square goes orange.
Yep. And a new Satoshi statue is unveiled. We'll have that and more coming up.
And it shines like the morning sun. Oh, the train rolls on, Bitcoin's gone.
Bitcoin, it's not that bad.
Hey, welcome back. So GameStop is back in the news, and that is a huge story. If you're a gamer, you know all about it. Well, Ryan Cohen, he is the CEO, has come out and said they have HODLed. They have not sold a single Bitcoin, and as of right now have 4,710. And isn't that the number one rule?
Right. Yeah.
Don't sell your Bitcoin.
Don't sell it.
Right. Yeah.
And Abigail Johnson of Fidelity made a staggering prediction.
Swallow your tongue, staggering.
Yeah, one Bitcoin could surge to $1 billion by 2038 as adoption grows.
I love that the predictions get bigger and bigger as we go. And it sounds like the green light is a full go-ahead in the U.S. They are starting to see now all of those things. We're talking stocks, tokenized bonds, all of that going to be going on blockchain. The security, I love it. Long time coming.
Everything, every asset will be on the blockchain at some point in the near future.
And banks are doing that too.
And of course, Bank of America, I mean, they
in the
believe
news
that most assets, if not all assets, should be a part of a blockchain because of its transparency.
Right. And we were discussing this, of course. It's not the original blockchain that Bitcoin was on. It's going to be
their own
the
blockchain.
Concept.
Yeah.
Ledger secure.
Yeah. Transactions
visible.
Right.
The concept of blockchain is a good one.
And still centralized for their purposes, right?
Yeah.
Unlike Bitcoin, which is uncentralized, right?
Decentralized, right?
Decentralized.
It's like unfrozen.
Unfrozen. Defrozen.
Anyway. Have you ever been in New York?
Yeah, no.
No, I haven't either, but I sure would have loved to have been there in this past week because some amazing sights. Let's roll that video.
Right.
This is what New York City looked like for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Multi-level advertising. And so you see the big bottle on the right there. They had different quotes.
Yes.
And you actually saw a Satoshi one. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
But Lynn Alden, who we saw in Vegas, very intelligent young lady.
Yeah.
Nothing stops this train.
Yeah.
That was one of the quotes. And Michael Saylor had, there is no second best.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Satoshi's quote.
Satoshi's quote. It might make sense to get some in case it catches on.
Huh.
How about that?
Go funk it.
Go funk it.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. So congratulations, New York City, going orange. It looked so good.
It did.
For sure.
Awesome.
New statue unveiled. We will find all that and more coming up in our next segment. Welcome back to the show. You can see us anywhere, Nostr, YouTube, wherever you're joining us tonight. Thank you. Please like, subscribe, and follow Bimblebit.com. We are happy to be here, and we are happy to have you joining us. So we are talking about that statue. Remember that see-through transparent statue we've seen in Sweden?
Yeah.
And then there's another one out there somewhere. Do you know where that one is?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Me neither, but we'll get that for you. Well, it seems that Mr. Satoshi Nakamoto, the image of in statue form, has made it finally onto Wall Street thanks to Jack Mallers and 21 Capital.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Take a look at this statue. How beautiful is that?
Really cool. And apparently this right? This girl that created the statue is going to create a total of 21 statues.
Oh, I
around
love
the
that.
world.
I love that.
Yeah. So this is just the beginning of this statue.
I'm going to play
erection
dumb
all
for a
over the
minute.
place.
Why 21, Andy?
Yeah, well, what do you think? 21 million Bitcoin, right?
21 million Bitcoin.
Exactly.
I love that.
Exactly.
So, and that's the first time I've seen the statue on a side view, because when they show it straight on, it's kind of hard to see.
Right?
It's like your eyes are like, ugh.
Yeah.
But it's from the side, it's really truly an amazing
So
piece.
New York Stock Exchange, right out front. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right up.
that is so darn cool.
Yeah.
Also, some milestones in Bitcoin. Today, it is Tuesday, the 16th of December, and I hit a milestone, 2020?
2020, yeah.
Yeah.
5 years ago today,
In December.
it finally cracked the $20,000 barrier. Isn't that something?
Here we are over
It finally
90.
hit the 20,000. That was just 5 short years ago.
Yeah.
Right?
And yesterday, Monday, goes back to 2010 when Satoshi made his very last, I'm moving on, baby. And he did.
Yeah.
15 years ago today, Satoshi posted for the last time on the forum, and it was a quiet exit, basically changed everything. But the quote was, "I've moved on to other things in good hands with Gavin and everyone else." So, I mean, really historical stuff in Bitcoin world. And cool.
It continues,
It's
right?
goosebumpy, hey?
And when you do these shows for as long as we've been doing them, it's up the next year. It comes up again, and it's just fun to watch the numbers and how everything's coming together in different ways at different times.
Totally.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Why doesn't Michael Saylor want to go to work? We will find out coming up.
Guy 28 bought a Bitcoin.
Bingo! Woo! Yes! Ha! That's me! That's right! Bingo King, baby! Bitcoin for...
Okay, we're going to delve a little bit more into the videos that kicked off the show. Michael Saylor talking about how he doesn't want to work. It's not really like that, but competition is in the Bitcoin world. Specifically, Michael,
take it away.
I think Metaplanet will be the most valuable hotel company in the world. I think they'll also be the most valuable company in Japan. And every day I get up and I'm like, crap, I have to go to work because the Metaplanet people are going to outrun me if I don't. You know? Because I'm sure Simon and Dylan are cooking up something. And I'm like, oh, jeez.
Okay, so I love that. I love that he's worried about Metaplanet. Not really on the same page, but the buying strategy. But he says he sees them being the biggest hotel company in Japan and the biggest business company in Japan.
Exactly.
Because of Bitcoin.
Because of Bitcoin.
Awesome.
And they've adopted to scale on probably 5% to according to Michael and what he's got. But at the same time, everybody starts somewhere, and they started at the right time. They are really making a name for themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of a name, Jamie Dimon, this is from JP Morgan. He is the CEO, and for a long time, push, don't want any part of it. Nah. Full turn, baby, roll it.
Blockchain is real. It's been around for quite a while, but now it's becoming more effective, more efficient, because people are finding ways to do it faster and cheaper, permissioned or not permissioned. Smart contracts, I think, will probably be real. We're working on stablecoin, and a JP Morgan. We have a JP Morgan deposit already, and think of it as a token, which is a deposit. We can pay interest on it, and as a payment system and a network, we're involved. If we can use things like that to do something better, faster, cheaper for clients, we're going to.
I love that. I love that because it's finally recognized, noticed. They're sitting back going, it will never catch on. Holy crap, it caught on.
Yeah.
So now they need to jump on board.
Absolutely.
And across the board, they are jumping on board.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's moving fast, Andy.
Yes, very fast. Pretty much every bank is now in the States opening up all avenues to custody, to buy, to store, for every client in the world, just like they would any stock or bond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Pakistan is no different. They were pretty silent for a long time. Minister just came out and said they are going to start building a national reserve.
Yeah.
Well, let's hear him say it.
So we need to start off with this non-inflationary asset where, Pakistanis and the Pakistani government should be accumulating it and, should be using it as a reserve. For a future, we want to plan for 2050. We don't want to look back and, we want to regulate our country for the future, not for the present or the past.
So they want to get going now. They need to start now. And yes, you do.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
Right? Even China's looking to buy 1 million Bitcoin at this point.
It's interesting you say that because Michael Saylor had a really good video. Let's run that Saylor video.
What happens to all these wonderful models if 10 billionaires decide to buy $1 billion of Bitcoin each and announce we bought it, we're not ashamed of it, we're going to buy more? All your models are destroyed, completely devastated. Bitcoin goes to the moon.
So if a billionaire wants to buy 1 million and another billionaire wants to buy 1 million, there are not that many left.
No.
So it just takes one chess move like that, and we are now in a supply squeeze, and to the moon, baby.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people have been looking at the price, throughout this last quarter of this year, thinking that based on 4-year cycles, we would have seen a slight up, went up to 125, now it's down to what, 87, 88,000 or whatever. I know it doesn't look normal at all, like a quarter should at this time of year, but it will rise, and it will rise with fierce intention in 2026.
And there are some saying before the end of this year,
Yeah.
and we're not professionals. We are regurgitating what we hear. But a lot of them say 200 to 250,000 by the end of this year, 2025.
There's still time.
Yeah. Hey, wherever you are in the world, there's something going on in your area, whether it's a SAT market or a Bitcoin conference. Time now for our Bitcoin event calendar. Oh man, so much cool stuff going on in the world. If you have an event going on, we want to hear about it. Bimblebit.com, reach out, let us know, and we'll be sure to get it on the air. Andy, any little follow-ups to wrap her up?
Follow-ups? We're going to be back next week.
Yeah, we're going to do a year-end review.
Our year-end review show on the 22nd next week. So we look forward to bringing you one last video. Hope you'll join us again for next week. Oh, and also I would like to add, we never got to the SAT market.
Remember flu season?
Just
right in the kisser.
So we were all ready to go. We were the media of choice. They hired us, and the next thing you know, that was on Friday last week. Next thing you know, we all got sick on Thursday. Yeah. So we never got to go. But what we do have is a slew of photos here that were provided to us from them. So have a look at this little slide of videos going on here. Really well attended. It grows every year, over 30 vendors, and they just had a great time. And so, enjoy the pictures and enjoy the Christmas holidays. We'll see you next week.
Awesome. Well, thank you as always for joining us. I'm Damian.
I'm Andy.
We're just two guys shooting the shit about Bitcoin right here on Bimblebit.com.
Cheers, mate.
Happy holidays.